here is very early. It's not like for you, Peter.
All right, all right.
So guys, do you hear us already? Maybe write in the chat or
Yes, we hear us.
you hear it. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so nice, excellent. So we're happy to have you back. We see that quite many joined already, and we hope that the rest will watch it later. And today we have Peter with us. He's joining from Hawaii. So there's a big time difference, so it's evening for him. So that's interesting. He'll explain later on more about himself. But so just some guidelines again, so we are all on the same page how this should go. So the rules kind of stay the same from the last week. So please turn off your microphones, turn them on only if you actually want to say something. Otherwise, it's like this background noise and it's really hard to speak. Then we would prefer if you turn on your cameras. So guys, this is the moment when you can turn on your cameras. I see there are many people, just very few. Thank you, Katrina. Yeah, it's good, showing example.
Hey, Anita.
Thank you, Alex.
We see Annette as well. Yeah.
Very nice.
We see one more there, Luis, that is taking even the coffee. Good. That's what we want to see.
Excellent. So yeah, if more of you could do that, that would be great. Yes.
And remember that you have to prepare one slide that during the day you have to send over Slack. So we have our assistant Inese that is checking out those things, and there will be also an award. But now we give the floor to Peter.
Yeah, okay.
Peter. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Peter Young, and I actually am a professor in residence for RBS. The first time I was there, 2016, and then 2018. And so I've been doing stuff online for RBS and your program ever since. I'm in Hawaii, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and today it was 28 degrees and sunny and breezy, and so I thought about the weather in Riga, and I thought, okay, I love Riga, but not maybe that much. Okay. Anyway, so I work as a grants officer and a professor at the University of Hawaii, and so I'm in this field quite a bit and work with lots of entrepreneurs. Let me give you one of my rules today also, and Claudia and Paula know this already. I want you to ask questions. You can give me a question through the chat room if you'd like, and just type it in, that's fine. And then after we finish, Claudia or Paula will give you my contact information if you have questions later on. You can email me or text me, and that's perfectly okay. So today we're going to talk about value proposition, and each one of you has a particular product or service I know that you've already kind of put in place. And so before we go any further, could I have maybe Katrina, could you tell me your product?
Hi, yes. My product is a linen bag, which is filled with jojoba, this wax, and it's with lavender oils or grapefruit oils, and so it's meant for your wardrobe, so it could smell better, or your bags, or your
and how
environment.
How much do you charge for it?
$3.50.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Let's see, Chris, do you have a product? Lelda? Leva? Anybody else want to chime in? Ms. Lace, come on, give me your product. You got a beautiful smile. Oh, and no audio. Turn on your audio. Oh, still no audio. There.
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
Ilana, what do you got?
We have got a company, Patrick Design, and we sell bags. They cost approximately €8, and we color them with acrylic colors. And these bags are from Lean, yeah. And they have got they are comfortable, and people can use them and wash them, and they will not lose their form.
Oh, okay. All right, super. Maris, you got something for us? Maris, you got a product?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead, tell us.
I made handmade cookies all by hand. Now, it's all organic, and it costs from €1 to €3.
One cookie, like €2, yeah?
Package one.
Ah, okay. And organic. Okay, I'm just writing some notes here. Okay. And bagged with oils. All right. Thank you. Antra, what do you got?
My product is Orange Plate.
Oh.
Yes, and it shows people what nutrients you should take every day. And I made it in a collaboration with a professional nutritionist, and she helped us to do a little booklet of information too.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's very nice. How much?
It's $19.95.
All right. All right. All right. Good. Good. Who else? Linda. Linda, do you have your do you have a product? Marita?
Hi, Peter. It's Marita from RBS, so I don't have any product. Sorry.
Okay, all right. All right. All right, so I'm going to go with those three because I don't want to spend all day just kind of using technology, you know, across the oceans here. One of the things that we know about small businesses is that they start with a product or a service. You guys have products right now. And you kind of say, all right, how much does it cost to make and how much can I sell it for? What's the profit margin? And, you know, kind of who would I sell it to? Well, let's see, I can sell it to my brother and I can sell it to my cousin, right? And now all of a sudden you're kind of going, oh, I need to sell more than just my cousin. So one of the things that we want to talk about today is this idea of value proposition. And this is universal in any language. This is not just an American concept or a European concept. And every company that I'll be listing today, I want you to go back and kind of do some research and think about what that company is really about, beyond what I talk about here this morning. So let's talk about the definition of value proposition. A value proposition is a promise of value to be delivered. So Morris, your cookies, we'll talk about the value of your cookies in just a moment. That you communicate that value and you are acknowledged for that value. People come up and they go, oh my God, Morris's cookies are just absolutely the best. Okay? It is also a belief from the customer about how value will be delivered, experienced, and acquired. So when we had talked about, I'm not sure who talked about the bag with various kinds of oils where you put it in with your clothes. Lovely concept. I love the product. But how is the customer going to receive that product? It's a nice, pretty bag. Okay, very nice. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then finally, a value proposition can apply to the entire organization. So that means you and your two friends that are in the business together. Parts of it, just you, or the actual product itself. So a lot of small businesses, actually, especially online businesses, kind of remove their personage. So you don't see their face on the website. You don't see them selling the product. Let me tell you about this fine set of cookies right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a great set of cookies. You can't get enough of it. They're organic. You're not going to see me selling cookies. You're going to see a nice kind of table with lovely cookies on the top of it, with milk, maybe some tea next to it, and a book that's open. We're selling the product. We're not selling Morris in this particular case. So what are some of the companies, before we get too far into this, what are some of the companies that I want you to think about? So when I give you the company name, I'm going to also give you the company concept. But too many times we think about the product as being something that's very mechanical, something that takes 25 euros to produce the mold, €1 worth of extra products, €1 for the bag. All told, we can sell it for €5 and make a gross profit of €1 per bag. And that's how we're thinking, and that's good. But if you want to start selling a lot more, people have to be in love with the product. So here's the first company that comes to mind when we talk about value proposition, Uber. Now, Uber has taken a lot of, it has its critics, but Uber doesn't sell its cars. Uber doesn't sell its app. Uber sells the experience. The smartest way to get around. That's their tagline. So when we talk about keeping our clothes fresh, maybe we talk about the freshness and not the bag. So here's a second company and product. Apple iPhone. Now, once again, it's a smartphone and it has, Thunderbolt lightning, connectors, or it has a nice glass screen or LED screen. It's got lots of apps, blah, blah, blah. It's very expensive. Apple doesn't sell an iPhone. Apple sells the experience is the product. When you hold an Apple, if you go into any Apple meetings and so forth, they're always talking about the experience of the product. And I don't have my cell phone here, which I was going to give you an example of. But that said, It's the experience of holding that iPhone. It's the experience of the sound coming from it. It's the experience of talking to each one of you right now. Now, everybody here, I guess, is using Slack. Slack is another wonderful product. Slack actually is just a computer database, if you really get down to kind of information technology terms and so forth. But here's their tagline: be more productive at work with less effort. Did we say anything about programming databases or doing back-end coding, etc.? No. Did we talk about kind of this button and that button and sending message? No. We talked about productivity and less effort. That becomes important for your product. I know many of you are saying, yes, but all I'm selling is a flashlight. That could be the greatest flashlight in the entire world. Tell me why it's such a great flashlight. Do you need light in your life? I have just the device. It's the Latvian flashlight. Extra power, extra brightness, just like its people. Okay, that was an early morning joke. Hopefully, okay. Anyway, all right. Thank you. I got a couple smiles. Here's another, and this is not very romantic. It's accounting software, but the company is called Less Accounting. All of you have to be doing some sort of accounting to keep all of your books together, your money straight, etc. So here's their tagline for the company called Less Accounting: bookkeeping without the hassle. They don't talk about the bill of lading. They don't talk about chart of accounts. They don't talk about a double entry, single entry. They talk about bookkeeping without the hassle. So if I'm going to invest some money in some accounting software and I'm just starting off, this might be someplace I might go to first, because I don't know anything about accounting, or very little. And so it says bookkeeping without the hassle. Maybe they'll help me along the way. So the value of this accounting software is we're right there with you. We're holding your hands. Now here's another little company that a lot of us have used, especially for papers, etc. It's called Bitly, B-I-T-L-Y. Now in terms of Bitly, shorten the long stuff in your life. What do? They take really long internet addresses and they crunch them down to little tiny short internet addresses. But their tagline is, shorten the stuff that's long in your life. Now that could be a lot of things, but that's just kind of a fun play on words. What's the value? The value is, I'm going to help you condense things. Vimeo. Vimeo's tagline, the story of your life. Now, if you don't know Vimeo, then you probably know YouTube, and of course, Vimeo is a competitor to YouTube. And what do? They're great, oh, bless you. They're a great big database that stores and feeds back out video. That's what they do. It's really not more complicated than that. It's kind of expensive, but it's not more complicated than that. So how do they make themselves different from YouTube and other video services? We are the story of your life. That's great. Isn't that where you want to store your pictures and your videos? It just makes you feel good. That's value proposition. And Spotify. Spotify, many of us have Spotify, either the free version or the premium version. But their tagline essentially is, this is your song list of life. They're not talking about Taylor Swift or Led Zeppelin or anybody in between. They're not talking about specific artists or genres. They're not talking about hip hop. They're talking about this concept, this value of creating a magical, if you will, kind of list of music that's appropriate for the time in your life now. Now, I don't mean to be overly dramatic when I say all this stuff, but for many products and services, all of us need to think about our products as being something that we experience. So, Morris, because I picked on you already, I'm going to pick on you some more. So you get the benefit of speaking up about your cookies. And I'm going to beat your product up just for a little bit so everybody understands where I'm coming from. So don't take it personally. Okay? All right, good. Thank you. So Morris is selling cookies. Who cares? Everybody sells cookies. My grandmother makes cookies. Okay? I can go to the store and I can see like 4 or 5 shelves with cookies on them. Different kinds of cookies. Lemon cookies, chocolate cookies, strawberry cookies, vanilla cookies. Why should I even care about Morris's cookies? He said one word that caught my ear immediately. And this is why words are important as we go forward when we start thinking about our product or our service. He's mentioned the word organic. Now, organic has a wide definition depending on who you talk to and so forth. But all of a sudden now, he's differentiated himself, his cookies, from other cookies. Oops, somebody's mumbling in the background. No? Okay, all right. So for Morris's cookies, for him to sell, oops, somebody needs to mute their microphone. Hello? Oops. Laura, mute your microphone. There we go, thank you.
We muted her.
Okay, so back to Morris. Sorry, Morris. So as we're talking about Morris's product here, and this is for everybody now, what's the value proposition? Well, the value proposition, not that they're just good, but that can be part of it. But part of it is how you communicate it. Are you concerned about what you put in your body? Aren't we all wanting to go towards an organic feast on our table every day, every night? Let's include sweets in that list of natural ingredients that we take in. Morris's cookies, organic from the beginning. You can feel safe with every bite and every smile that this cookie will put on your face. Something like that. The value is that you're communicating that this cookie is not just any cookie, but this cookie really has its value is that it's organic. That this cookie should be a part of your life if you're thinking about this idea of more natural ingredients being consumed. So, Morris, does this make sense to you? Yes, no? I haven't even got a smile or a frown out of you, so I was just curious. Okay, good. I got a smile. Now, the other part that we need to start thinking about, I'm going back to my definition again, is how will this be delivered, experienced, and acquired? So in many cases, we start thinking about, oh, it should be in a purple bag and it should have a little ribbon on it. Okay, what's the value of the purple ribbon? Well, that's the color of my grandmother's favorite flower. All right, then let's build in the reason why it's a purple ribbon to tie your bag of cookies up as a part of the story of Mars Cookies. What I'm getting to for everybody here is that I want you to begin to think about your product as a story. I want you to be a storyteller. I want you to use that product as something that you can weave a story around, that people can kind of prop their head up just a little bit and look at it a different way, kind of going, I hadn't really thought of cookies that way. Wow. And you give them just a little bite, a little sample, and you wait for their reaction and they go, this is actually quite good. Now, this is where I'm going to beat Morris's cookies up just a little bit. Again, because Morris's cookies probably taste pretty much the same as a lot of cookies you find in the store. Sorry, Morris, it's a cookie. Okay, but you're not comparing yourself to store-bought cookies. You're comparing yourself to nature. You're comparing yourself, this is the story goes, that if you're thinking about your body as a temple, Morris's cookies are one of the ingredients you should be including on your list. That's where we can deliver the experience. You tell them about the experience. So for instance, the young lass that talked about the bag with oils, various kinds of, I think, fruit oils, etc., keeping your clothes fresh. You tell them about the freshness, but you don't stop at freshness. You talk about if you use pineapple, I'm from Hawaii. So you talk about, have you always thought about the islands? By using our bag of oils, a bag of pineapple oils, I don't know what you call it, bag of pineapple oils, and put that in your closet, your wardrobe will take you to the islands by smell. So this is where we go and we take a lot of these kinds of issues and we go kind of beyond. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that everybody on this call, and we've got, wow, 50 people, I want to make sure that everybody knows that they can get a hold of me if you've got an idea, but you need it fleshed out. I already committed to Paula and Claudio about getting back to you and getting commentary. It is important that we begin to, and finally I should say, the presentation. How do you present the value proposition? So first of all, we want to make sure that for every one of our products, we want to make sure that we are honest in our explanation. If you make this by hand, you tell them we make it by hand. That becomes important. If you actually sew the bags yourself, tell them that everything in this product is made from scratch. People like that, and that truthfulness is going to get you customers. And then finally, I want to finish on this, and I want you to be able to, in your little one-page back to Claudio that you have to do today, and the discussions, you have to tell us the problem that you are solving. So I want to go talk about the bag with pineapple oil or some kind of oil in it. Sorry, my notes are a little bit sketchy. What's the problem that you're solving? Have you thought about that? I'm not looking for an answer. So the problem doesn't need to be negative. You just need to kind of really think about it. So what would be the problem? I just kind of smell like I got out of the shower. I smell kind of clean, and I get in my kind of clean clothes and I go to work. So the problem is that you're plain. Do you want to be plain? Do you want to be plain Jane when you go into work? Or do you want to attract some genuinely good attention? Do you want to have that lavender smell? Using our little bag, you're going to have that hint of lavender every time you go and pass somebody. What's the problem with cookies? Or what's Morris's problem? Morris's problem is that he at some point decided he was going to cook cookies because he likes cookies, and he hasn't found a cookie that is organic based, that is of certain size, and is priced easily. So what's the problem? The problem is that you look at the customer in kind of the general marketing material and communications material and say, you know, you've been around for a long time. Have you found the perfect cookie? My name's Morris. I haven't found the perfect cookie, and I consider myself a cookie expert. So instead of continuing looking, I decided to make the perfect cookie myself. It's organic. It's healthy. It comes from nature's best. That's what I was looking for. I think that's what you're looking for. So you're talking to the customer as if that customer has a particular need or problem to solve. And that becomes kind of the final foundation of what we're talking about here today. If you present your entire product as a solution to a problem, I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to have sales that will increase by 15 to 20%. If all you sell is organic cookies in a bag for €2, sales are going to be okay. They're not going to be great. You want people to pay €3 for the organic experience. So here's what I want to do now. I want to open it up to any particular questions or comments. We're all in this together, and I'm talking to you from Hawaii, and so let's not waste the distance or the time. And you can put them case straps. That's no problem. You don't have a cam. But for everybody, if you have questions and you want to go type it in, you can type it into the chat thing, and we can go discuss stuff. I think we've got about 10 minutes.
And guys, if you have something that you don't know how to ask in English, you can just ask it in Latvian, and we'll help you to. But probably there are no problems. But if there are, just feel free to also ask in Latvian.
And Morris, you owe me cookies. You got to send me cookies, man.
So guys, there must be some questions. I don't believe that.
Oh, okay. How do you like life in Hawaii? Well, I can answer that. So it's a lot like, how do you like life in Latvia? Now, I say that in part because I love Latvia. I love Riga. Oh my God, Riga rocks. I really do. And I know a lot of you are going, really, Peter? Really? living on an island, I'm about 5,000 kilometers from any continental piece of land. I'm literally in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So that's the first thing that scares a few people. They like to visit, but they're going, oh, you live here? And so living in Hawaii, you have to have a mindset, but there's a lot of things to do. I like to surf, and I also like to I like to ski, not snow skiing, water skiing, and I like to just hang out on the beach. So if you come, no problem. I got a place in the back you can go crash, and we can go have some fun. Let's see. Do you have a business yourself? Actually, I do. I write grants for people as a consultant, as a service, not a product. And so I will go and work with individuals or organizations and write their proposals for them. And a lot of times people are just not good writers. I understand that. They have good ideas, but they don't know how to put it on paper, etc. So that's my business. And I guess I do maybe 5,000 euros a month in that. What other questions? I teach at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. That's the main campus. And I also teach online here at RBS when Claudio will have me, or Paolo will have me. And I also teach online at University of California at Berkeley, UC Berkeley in the Bay Area of California, Northern California. So depending on the term and so forth, I'll teach 1 or 2 classes at a couple of different places. What else we got? Was it too early in the morning? Do you guys have a long weekend? Yeah, so actually I was going to give a short list to Claudio about some potential reading material. There's really a lot of articles, really good articles that are out there. There's some other short booklets. In terms of full-on textbooks, you don't need to go and get a full-on textbook. Usually they're outdated anyway. What I can tell you is that a good part of this value proposition is being helped by social media, but social media in a very, very strategic kind of way. So I'll just send off a couple of items that deal with that. Do students in the US have a chance making a student come? Yes. Actually, I am advising 2 undergraduate entrepreneur clubs at the University of Hawaii right now that are dealing with Hawaii-based products. And they want to go, again, the value proposition is, let's give a little bit of the islands to everybody in the world. And so one of them is dealing with coconut-based products, and another one is dried fish. I just remember from my Russia days and Belarus days, the dried fish in the plastic packages. And so we would go and get very drunk and eat these dried fishes. So so I know of this product in a different region of the world. So yeah, I'm working with a couple of groups of students right now. And they have the same issues as you do, by the way. So don't feel like they have a step up on anybody. What other questions? Well, so thank you, Katrina. So as I'm waiting for another question or two, it is important that you think about what the problem is, what you're solving. What are you solving? Morris, what are you solving with your cookies? And we've talked about, I think, in depth about Morris's cookies and so forth. But That's the thing that you really need to think through. Forget about how much flour you use and how much sugar you use to make these damn cookies. You really want to talk about what is the problem and what are you trying to solve. And so I like the idea, quite honestly, of saying, I haven't found the perfect cookie, so I decided to go out and make the perfect cookie. So I have another one from Katrina. Do students in the U.S. have a chance? When did you start to practice in this in the field? Like, when did you start to have an interest in or doing something? So I have to tell you that in my college days, I went to a small university in Los Angeles called UCLA. And so the problem is that I discovered women and alcohol. Those are really bad. They're both really, really bad. And so I actually didn't get kind of interested in small business entrepreneurship until graduate school. But at that point, then I kind of have always done some kind of project. I made wooden toys for many years, and actually had a pretty good line of toys. And then I'll do a lot of writing for people, as well as event planning, and that was a third area which I had a small business in. Yeah, I think the best, Chris, I think the best advice, just as passing, I mean, kind of, we're sitting here and so forth. I think the best advice is that you want to find a niche, you want to find a problem, and you want to fill that solution. I can't emphasize that enough. Don't just give me cookies. Give me organic cookies and give me bags of pineapple oil. You know, that's solving a problem. And so if you can go solve a problem and tell people about it, don't be bashful. And that's why the student group that I'm in particular that I'm working with, they want to know, you know, like, does anybody really care about the islands? I said, no, you tell them to care about the islands. You tell them about Hawaii. Really? Yes. So I want you to tell people about your products. And this gets back to your question, you know, as a single piece of advice. What are the best channels for marketing your product globally? So number one, you want to make sure that you have sufficient numbers initially that you can work out the logistics problems and the business problems right there in Riga or wherever you're at, Jomala or wherever. And so the numbers I will defer to you. But in terms of global, I wince every time I kind of say this, but Amazon has a very good global outreach small entrepreneurial program. They take their kind of 10% cut off the top, and you have to play by their rules. But if you've got a product that is something that could go global, Amazon tends to be, or the equivalent kind of organization. There are other organizations out there, smaller organizations. And then the last item is what's called OEM, Original Equipment Manufacturer. And OEM basically means it's you outsource, not that you don't outsource, that you become the outsourced manufacturer. So if Safeway grocery stores in Honolulu is trying to find a really good organic cookie, then there should be some way to talk to, and I'm going to talk to Claudio about this, to talk to somebody, for instance, in Latvia, that are there any, you know, Latvian bakers that do organic cookies? We want to put the Safeway logo on, you know, organic cookies. Oh yeah, we got this guy's a bomb. He's great. Mara's Cookies is the best. It's the greatest, you know, organic cookies in the world. So you lose your name, but you get market size. And that becomes important also. So think about selling your product as a third-party product to someone else. Thank you very much for your time and great advice. As we're just starting now, is it really good to give the product a cheap, affordable price and not appreciate our product? Oh, what a fantastic question. And I'll finish on this because I see Claudio smiling. Okay.
Hey,
No, it's okay. We still have some time. Don't worry. Just
Right, okay.
yeah. While they're listening and they're here, we have time. Yeah. So that's good.
All right. So let me paraphrase the question. Is it better to go cheap in the beginning or go expensive so you can move the product? I'm going to give you a little story of a company that I worked for many years ago. It was a software company. And the software company actually sold its theme was computer-aided drafting and design, CAD software for the Apple Macintosh, very specific. And so I asked Ev, the owner, I said, why are you selling it for $795? He said, it's a good price. I said, okay. I said, why don't you lower the price, because you've really kind of paid for all the heavy lifting programming up to this point. You could drop the price to like 500, 300. And he said, nope. I said, okay, why? He said, because, and listen to me carefully, you can always go down, you can never go up. So let me explain that in a slightly different way. He set his, what's we call manufacturer suggested retail price, MSRP, at $795. He can discount that for universities. He can discount that for purchases of 25 copies or more. He can discount that if he's selling, 1,000 copies through Apple computer stores. But he can't go and raise the price because everybody knows it at $795. The only way he can raise the price is to add value, because he already set the price at $795 for the one package. So how did he add value? Well, because it's a CAD program, there's all sorts of little plugins. So instead of giving those plugins away for free, he charged $25 per plugin. And I think that there was like 20 different plugins that did different things, automated processes, etc. More engineering than anything else. So a person could leave a store with buying something like $900 or $1,000 worth of this product, but the base product always $795. And anybody that ever purchased it, like through the university, we sold a whole bunch one time through the University of Oregon. We gave each one of the students there $195. I negotiated that price. And I said, Ev, he said, oh, he was not happy. I said, Ev, have you already paid for all the programming? Yes. Okay, then don't worry about it. He says, why? I said, because these students are going to work on your product for 4 years. And when they get out into the workforce, their engineering or architectural firm is going to say, well, what product did you use? We used PowerCAD. All right, I'll get you a copy of PowerCAD. The company now has to pay $795 for the full price of the product, even though little Johnny has been using a $195 version. Setting your price and sticking with that price is going to be important. So if it's a little high, you can give a discount. The problem is if you set it at €2, it's going to be hard to go to €3. And I can go into deeper some other examples. Let's see. Luz, let's see, how do you sell better products that could be made only from the spot where you're selling it for? Example, our SMC have marbles, cards, which make big water pool. In a place we're selling. Okay. So you have what's called a niche, N-I-C-H-E, niche product. And that's going to be what I would call a franchise product. So you need to find other people to help you sell your product when it gets popular at your location. And you can train them on how to sell it based on your experiences as you've just described here. So if it requires X or Y or Z, then you tell the person who's going to franchise it from you, you have to have in place X, Y, or Z, or you can't sell my product. So you put together the rules of selling, and there usually is no problem because people like to be guided. They like to be told, instructed on how to do it. They may go, I love your product. Oh my God, I could sell 1 million of them. And you're thinking, you could sell 1 million of my products? I want you to sell my products. Oh, but I have a whole set of instructions on how to sell it. Okay. That becomes the important part. Let's see. Okay, so our questions have ceased. They've stopped. Do we have
Okay.
any other? I see pictures. There's Neeks. Hi, Neeks.
So if there is any last question, so I think that this is the time. Your last chance, guys.
Okay, Peter will come back, right?
Yeah, well, you will meet Peter next week as well, but the last chance for the day, let's say.
Yeah.
By the way, Peter will be up for beers when he comes to Riga. So
That's right.
good. So
Okay.
one announcement, yeah. Remember the slide, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, you have to remember that you have to submit this one slide, one pager to the Slack. So what you have to include there, so just the main points that you took away from today's conversation. So we are of course tracking who's submitting them and who's not, and we are also tracking who's being active during these lectures, showing more interest. So yeah, do that. And anything else, Claudia? I think no.
No, it was very nice to see you, and the recording will be available in Slack, so we are going to send it. Okay?
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a nice evening, Peter. For you, it's evening.
All right. Have a good Monday, everybody.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Cheers. See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm respecting the 2 meter with Paula.
Trying to, yeah.